Jiggy cat on a damn killer spree. This is Nagato, and you can't mimic my energy. 100 rounds drawn and me hanging like a centipede. Hey everyone, it's me Nagato's Revenge here. Hope you guys are having a great day for today. As today's video, I have something really cool and special to share with case to you guys, and something that I've really been dying to talk about on my channel for a while. As many of you guys know, if y'all been checking out my Twitter as well as my YouTube community section, you know that I recently got a PlayStation 3 that's special, and this is no ordinary PlayStation 3. It basically looks like a big 2001 VCR or something that came out from the 90s. I recently obtained a PlayStation 3 DECR-1000 DevKit, and basically these systems were utilized for the PS3 days, and they were used to, for game development. This particular PS3 that I recently got came from Electronic Arts, but sadly there wasn't any like rare development builds. I already checked. If there was, I would have been upload them to, for preservation reasons. But with that being getting out the way, today we're just going to be talking about the specifications of the system. I'm going to be showcasing the UI, and I'm going to be talking about custom firmware for these specific models. Before we even get into all that, I do want to give a special thanks out to Matt Chul for helping me set up my DECR, because I did mess up something when I was trying to set this up, and he saved me a ton. And I want to give a special thanks out to Preston. But with that being all out the way, if you guys new to the channel and you did enjoy this video, please be sure to hit that like, please be sure to subscribe. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the actual specifications of this model. Alrighty, since the intro is over, before I even want to get into the unboxing of the PlayStation 3 DECR, I do want to go ahead and showcase some of the specifications, and all of this information I found online with the PlayStation 3 Dev Wiki website, so shouts out to them. But all of the specifications is what I currently have in my DECR 1000. So if you're a nerd like me and you love to know like what type of specifications that the developer unit has opposed to the retail one, I will have basically a bunch of specification sheets up on the screen right now. And what I'm going to do is not read all of them, but I'm just going to kind of glaze over through some stuff and just talk about some cool things about the system. So the submodel names to this device is the DECR-1000A. There's also a version called the DECR-1000J. I'm assuming that this is the Japanese model, but don't hold me up to that. There's not really much differences. It's just basically a submodel name. The motherboard is a TMU 520. In terms of flash storage, it has two 256 megabyte NAND chips as well. The cool thing about this PlayStation 3 in particular, it has two HDDs, one for the BDEMU and one for the actual gaming operating system. Some other cool specifications, and I'm just gonna run through some stuff. This PS3 has two HDMI ports. It can have other OS installed onto it via patch with like DECR Rebug firmware, and I'm going to be talking about more of that today. You can see once I have pictures of this shown up on the screen as well. There is 6 USB ports. PlayStation 2 mode is not originally on these systems, but however later on in the video you can I'll showcase this as well later on in the video, what I was trying to say. But PlayStation 2 games can run on these development units due to the fun use of custom firmware. There is 4 GB LAN ports. There's also one serial port, and that's basically for servicing, I'm assuming. Some other specifications in terms of this, it comes with an antenna Hitachi cable, and that's basically for the Bluetooth. And some other cool things that the PlayStation 1 mode that is not enabled in here also can be patched with custom firmware. Some other cool specifications that, like, when this was released, this particular model of the DECR-1000A that was released in June 2006. There's not like an original date, and here are some of the power supply specifications of the actual model. But with all of the specifications getting all out the way, what I'm going to do is show the front end of my system, and then I'm going to showcase the back end and just more information about the general use of this development unit that I've recently obtained. Alrighty guys, so here is the front of the actual reference tool itself. You can see that I have it on. You can see both of the two HDD drives, one for BDEMU as well one for the game operating system or GAMEOS. You can also see that one of the USBs, or actually two of them, are broken, but you can see that it does have all 6 USBs. Here is proof that this DevKit is from EA Games. Cool fact that with reference tools, regular PlayStation 3 controllers and PS4 controllers work. But yep, here is the actual front of the device. Here's some more footage of how the actual reference tool looks like from the back end. So you can see it has a ton of ports. So it has the VGA monitor port, HDMI, AV out, the main power supply, of course, both the LAN and dev LAN ports, analog audio out, and what I'm going to be transitioning onto as well is just more pictures of the overall system, and just to showcase on how big this is. Once the picture probably shows up on the screen, you can see how I have both of my PlayStation 3s on the actual dev kit itself, and it still doesn't even take as much space on this monstrosity of a beast. Alrighty, so we're on the actual PlayStation 3 reference tool itself. What I'm going to do is just give you a rundown on the UI of the system. Really nothing is different from the actual retail except of course debug settings, but if you guys ever had a modded PlayStation 3 that's on DeX, it's basically almost like the same thing in terms of the UI, so nothing's really different. Of course you have just the same network settings, remote play. I'm just gonna skip through some stuff over here. But you can see that I am on a dev tool, of course, so this is pretty much different than a DeX PlayStation 3 that's been jailbroken to DeX via with Rebug. But the special thing about my console, it's not running actual DeX firmware, it is running Rebug DECR-1000A, which is a special type of custom firmware specifically made for these type of model PlayStation 3s. So if I actually go into debug settings here, I'll just kind of scroll through some stuff. So it's the typical DeX variant of stuff. So you have NP environment. You can see mine's is set to SP int, aka just for development servers and stuff like that. Just general debug features. I'm not going to really run through all of them. You could fake region. The coolest thing about the PlayStation 3, if you guys ever recorded footage on it, HDCP is a pain in the ass and you have to basically use a HDMI splitter to pull footage from your PS3. The coolest thing about this device, I could turn it off and just record straight purely with a HDMI and capture card. So if I had an Elgato and have that hooked up, I could just record for that without messing with a bunch of more plugs and have a HDMI splitter. So that's really cool about the only difference between a retail system that's on DeX versus a actual dev unit. We could actually turn off HDCP, free fake space, fake save data owner, which you could do that on retail if you convert your system to a jailbroken console. Release mode is development mode, MP DRM debug. Just trying to show some free stuff or show some more stuff via right here. Fake plus. So if you guys used to the DeX settings on PlayStation 3, you kind of know all about the debug settings here. Nothing's too different from the video side of things. Of course, I have package manager, so I can still install package files. I have app home if I want to launch games via with like target manager or something like that. Webman games is also here as well. I'm just trying to give a quick rundown. Since I'm on Rebug DECR-1000A firmware, you can see that I already have some tools right here. I have the quick sign up thing for like PSN. I'm not going to sign into PSN with this system at all. I'm just going to keep this stock, but as showcased here, I have some homebrew via right here. I'm just going to actually run into Rebug Toolbox so I can show you guys that this is a actual DECR system, and even the target type will say DEH instead of like hex to DeX, so you could tell that this is a actual reference tool. So let me go and launch in the Rebug Toolbox so I can show you guys that. Alrighty, so I am in Rebug Toolbox right now. If I go into system information, you can notice that my target type in LV2 is a DE8, so you could say, you know, show from the difference from a retail console that may be on DeX. This isn't an official reference tool. I'll just run through some Rebug Toolbox settings as well. I set my stuff to Rebug, and I also set my XMB operation mode to DeX. Since with a DECR-1000A Rebug firmware, I can actually play classic PlayStation 1 and PS2 games on these actual systems. Originally, if I just left this system not on custom firmware, these models cannot run PlayStation 1 and PS2 games. So that's pretty cool that this custom firmware allows me to, you know, get even more bang out of my buck for these type of systems here. Of course, I could toggle XMB CFW settings. Cobra mode is, you know, active via what here on this reference tool. Of course, text to DeX features are not available since it's already on, you know, a debug system. I could toggle QA flag, LV2 kernel stuff. If I wanted to change the button assignment for this, I can. If I wanted to dump my EID root key and, you know, just create a package folders for my hard drive, I can. And there's just a bunch of stuff I could do via within Rebug Toolbox, but I'm not really going to mess with any functions since I don't want to mess up this console. But the next thing, what we're going to do is just showcase the actual, you know, that this reference tool is running Multiman, and I can run PlayStation 1 and PS2 games via off my hard drive. And I'm also going to show you guys that I could run NTFS games off my NTFS drive. So I'll be in Multiman right in a sec. Alrighty guys, so as showcased here, you can see that I'm in Multiman right now. You can see that it's already loading up my NTF games on my NTFS drive, so that's really cool that this firmware can allow me to run my games off my external hard drive. Since for example, I do not want to generate any more heat to this system because these PlayStation 3s can get really hot, and you know, since it's a bigger unit and it, you know, has more moving parts, it can generate more heat. So it's really cool that I could use like an external USB device so I could just run my games via off that. But as showcased here, you can see that it's loading all of my PlayStation 1 titles too. So if I wanted to play any PS1 game or PS2 game, I can. So what I'm going to do here is just load in the Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, and I'm going to show you that the game is launching on this reference tool. And as showcased here guys, if I go ahead and hold down the PlayStation 3 button here, you can see that my PS3, I am actually on my reference tool. If I go into other settings, I could set it to full screen and have smoothing on. Of course, I wanted to change the controller settings, I can. But here is Kingdom Hearts. What I'm probably going to do is maybe edit out the music just for the launch of this, because I ain't trying to get copyright by the Square Enix bandits. But yeah, here is, you know, the game running in live time on my PlayStation 3, and this is pretty cool that I could run this on this model of PlayStation. So here's Kingdom Hearts running, you know, live and well on the reference tool. And the coolest thing with the reference tool as well, I noticed when I jump into the PlayStation 2 emulation, I'm not too sure if it's because the system has more RAM or it's just something about the unit itself, but I don't get that jump of, you know, my fan, you know, going crazy. Anytime I try to do this on my retail PS3s, the fan goes buck wild. But here's, you know, Kingdom Hearts running just fine. What I'm going to do now is just quit out this game, and then what we're going to do is go into the actual PlayStation 1 emulator, and then I'm going to play probably some Crash Bandicoot for you guys, and then we're just going to wrap up the video from there. Another cool thing that I did forget to tell you guys about the actual PlayStation 3 reference tool, this console, as well as opposed to other development units, so like some stuff from Nintendo and Xbox, some units cannot run, you know, retail games, but luckily this this reference tool can run retail games. So what I'm going to do now is just insert in this PlayStation 3 disc. It will pop up on the screen right now real quick, and you're going to see that Kingdom Hearts 1.5 plus 2.5 will be on the screen, so it's launching as of right now. Alrighty, so as showcased here, you can see Crash Bandicoot running live and well on the PlayStation 3, just to showcase that I am on the actual PlayStation 3 and not using like a RetroArch emulator. If I hold down the PlayStation 3 button right here, you can see that I have the typical main menu settings. So if I wanted to change my analog, basically from digital mode to analog mode, I can. If I wanted to change other settings like smoothing and stuff like that, I can. But let me go ahead and back out from here. You can see that Crash Bandicoot is running well and alive on the system, which is pretty cool. So having a custom firmware DevKit actually brings the most out of these systems, since like I stated before, the PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 emulators were not embedded with the system. So with having a custom firmware, I am now able to not only, let's say if I wanted to debug games and even create a game, I could still play my classic titles on these devices, which was never the actual purpose for these devices in the first place. But with that being all out the way, if you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to share with your friends. Please be sure to leave a like. But with that being said, my name is Nagato's Revenge and I'm signing out. See you guys next time. Peace. Hey everyone, it's me, Nagato's Revenge here. Hope you guys did enjoy today's video. With that being out the way as well, I highly do recommend that y'all guys go ahead and follow my social media so you'll never miss any of the latest hacking guides and tutorials on my channel by subscribing to me and hitting that notification button as well. It's another method on how you will know when I drop my latest content, whether it be for the Vita, PS4, PS3, and such and so forth. As well, if you want to be in the mix of things and you want to join my official community, you can join via the link right now showcased on the screen and join my Discord that way. And if you do want to support my channel in any shape or form, you could become a patron. I will have a card right now. But with all of that getting out the way, hope you guys really did enjoy this video, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
Nice and silky smooth.